Now, I've always been a fan of wrestlers coming out and mocking and impersonating their opponents right before they're about to have a match, right before they're about to have this big old pay-per-view matchup that's going to blow up the entire feud. So when The Miz did it last night on Monday Night Raw, when he came out with L.A. Knight, yeah, his music, his gear, doing his catchphrases over and over again, mimicking his mannerisms, the way he speaks, the multiple catchphrases that LA Knight has been able to incorporate into his character and into WWE television, that cracked me up, and most importantly, it caught me off guard because I wasn't expecting The Miz to come out as LA Knight. As a matter of fact, I wasn't expecting LA Knight to come out at all, so when his music hit, I popped. Let's get ready for a little bit more back and forth between The Miz, and unfortunately, that wasn't the case. But what The Miz presented to us is something that WWE likes to do with up-and-coming superstars. Mostly John Cena in the past. I talked about this as well. John Cena, now The Miz. They like to call out stars, up-and-coming stars, on their flaws, on things that make them who they are, but that could be considered crutches. Cena did it to Theory most recently. He did it to Roman Reigns way back in 2017. He's done it multiple times. Every single time he went up against Alex Riley, CM Punk back in the day, Sheamus, so many others in the past, Cena had a habit of calling them out on real flaws that wasn't necessarily based on their character themselves. It was more based on the performer. And I think The Miz hit the nail right on the head last night on Monday Night Raw because, yes, L.A. Knight, yeah, as entertaining as hell. He's always been entertaining, and he can hold his own on the mic if you let him loose, if you don't handcuff him, like I've said that they've been doing ever since they've made him a babyface. They started booking him as a babyface. They started writing for him his promos as a babyface, which, in my opinion, if you're going to script him, over-script him as a babyface, well, that's going to result in him just hitting his catchphrases. Him having issues, having trouble remembering his lines because, again, guys like L.A. Knight, yeah, guys who can go on the stick, well, they're not really fond of having to follow somebody else's script, their lines. I feel the exact same way for Sean Ricker, LA Knight. The man can go on the microphone. He can go off on you like no one has ever seen, like you can't imagine. You don't believe me? Go back and watch his Impact Wrestling stuff, because what he did as Eli Drake, yeah, with his dummy, yeah, that was phenomenal. That was awesome. That is something that I've wanted to view from LA Knight on WWE TV. And I think we were about to get there before they turned him babyface, before they handcuffed him. And now he's just the catchphrase machine. He's a megastar, absolutely. And this weekend at Payback, I'm pretty much sure 90% of the time, L.A. Knight, yeah, walks out with the win. But The Miz called him out on some real flaws that he does need to work on. And like I said, I think it has a lot more to do with WWE not letting him loose on the microphone and being preoccupied, being worried about him pandering to the crowd, about him acting like a cookie cutter vanilla babyface, even though that's not what made him popular, even though that's not what got him to where he is right now. As a matter of fact, can you imagine? And again, he gets a lot of comparisons to The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. LA Knight has a little bit of both of them in his persona, in the way he delivers his messages, in his aura, in his charisma, in his presence, in-ring presence. Can you imagine back in the Attitude Era if they didn't let Stone Cold and The Rock loose on the microphone and berate their opponents, even when they were babyface? They would not have rised up to where they were back in the day. So, in my opinion, WWE just has to let LA Knight loose. They have to trust him. And again, it's not just WWE. LA Knight himself needs to know, okay, if you're going to let me loose, I'm going to go off on my opponent, but I have to do it in the best way possible, because yes, I am now being booked as a babyface. I am effectively a babyface, so I can't go too far, or as far as a heel can go. So in my opinion, they have to find a happy medium and fix this issue, nip it in the bud before it gets problematic. And that's just my point of view. Because again, a talent who's gotten over on his own like LA Knight does not need to be handcuffed by WWE Creative. And The Miz calling him out the way that he did last night on Raw kind of did expose him a bit to the WWE Universe. So from this moment on, Friday Night SmackDown, Payback, and everything after that, we'll see how LA Knight reacts. We'll see if LA Knight is able to adjust a bit of his mic work now as a babyface to fit better into his own character, into his own, and to actually maintain the momentum and the favoritism that he gets from the fans now. So with that said, what are your thoughts on the Miz's impersonation of LA Knight? Yeah, last night on Monday Night Raw, did you find it entertaining? Did you find some truth in it? Or did you think, doesn't really matter? I just looking forward to the match this weekend in Pittsburgh for Payback. Leave your thoughts, comments, and predictions in the comment section below. Meanwhile, tune in later on tonight to the USA Network for another episode of NXT. I'm Alexis Carrillo, this has been Wrestling Talk, and I'll see you next time.